Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog is begging you for. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their behaviors, you've come to the right place. We are Charles and Laura Countryman, co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And as always, we have senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt, with us today. Good morning, Wyatt.
Good morning.
And good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
So from training to behavioral issues, or maybe it's just the health and happiness of your dog, our goal is to help you understand your dog better, learn more about creating behaviors you'd like to see more of, and hopefully learn how to replace some of those behaviors you would like to see a little less of, and help you improve your relationship with your pup. On today's episode, commands that are the easiest and hardest to maintain. A lot of people struggle with some commands with their dogs, some obedience, some behaviors actually is probably I think behaviors is better term than commands, because commands sit, but behavior. What are some of the hardest and easiest things to maintain with your dog, Laura?
I would say for blanket over thing is the easiest is the ones you continue to work on and let and then the hardest is the ones that usually are the ones that you don't need every day, so you
rarely
but then go back to get specific commands. The one that you need to have reliable 100% is recall, and we see that people don't usually practice that enough, and they use it when they need it. Not that I think is one of the ones that gets kind of wiggly woggly as the dogs
just as time goes on. So spoiler alert, Laura actually nailed it. The commands that are the easiest to maintain and the behaviors that are the easiest to maintain with your dog are the ones you work on. Dog training is like fitness. You cannot cheat and expect it to work long term. So if you spend a whole bunch of time getting in shape, so think of it in the perspective of you sent your dog to a 3-week board and train, comes back amazing. It would be like you spending a month getting all in shape, ready for the summer, and then you eat donuts every day for the rest of the summer. By the second week, you aren't going to look like anything like you did a month ago. So dog training is the same thing. You can't arrive and you're done. Now you maintain everything you have, right, Wyatt?
Yep. It's really train like you live. It's really, you're going to maintain the commands you like doing that you do every day. And the ones you don't like doing that you don't like do every day, you're going to lose.
I don't even think it's don't like doing. You just don't you don't look for opportunities to work on them. So like you said, Laura, recall. We all agree it's the most important command because if I call my dog, I need them to come. The problem is, at our home, we don't practice it because my dog's not, very often. Right. We might call our dog to feed them. Well,
they're going to come.
They're going to come anyway because they know it's dinner time. They're coming as soon as they hear the food bowl ding.
I would say, though, it's more you don't like doing recall out in public because what happens when your dog fails?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
So what you should do is if you have a yard, go in the backyard and practice recall. Throw a toy for the dog and recall them before they get the toy. That's when you have a dog with great. You're proofing the dog will come off of that high value target, the toy, and come back to you. If you're struggling with that, don't throw it across the yard. Throw it 5 feet away and have your dog on a leash. Toss it 5 feet away, and the dog goes for it. And you say, "Come," and give a little bit of a tug on the leash, and then praise the heck out of them when they leave the toy and come right back to you. And then now you're off a 6-foot leash. Now you're on a 12-foot and a 15-foot. Now you're ready to throw the ball across the whole yard. But you could do the same in the park. If you're walking your dog, don't just make it just a walk. Make it, hey, let's work on things. Because like you said, Laura, we need a recall in the public, but if you never practice it, it ain't gonna happen. It's probably not gonna happen. You're competing with some high motivators,
You
and
got to be sexier than that squirrel, and it's hard sometimes, especially if you have a very high drive dog.
right. So practice recall, even at your home. We go out to the front yard, the side yard, the driveway, the backyard. We'll do it in the house. We practice recall all the time. And if you have two people, recall back and forth, back and forth.
Yes.
Your dog is having a good time. He's like, oh man, they're paying attention to me. We're doing stuff together. It's not drudgery to your dog unless you're making it drudgery. And you don't need to spend 20 minutes doing it. 2, 3, 4 minutes, move on to something else.
That's like going back to your weightlifting or getting in shape analogy. Arnold Schwarzenegger did something I have no idea talking about. He used to work out a lot. But as he's got older, he doesn't have to work out as much because his body remembers it and stays more in shape because he did it earlier. And so he can't obviously eat donuts all the time, whatever, not exercise, but he doesn't have to
Work as hard.
Work as hard, just like with dogs. If they know it after a year or so, you're
just maintaining.
You're just maintaining and doing little workups.
Just like if you did get in shape, you don't have to be crazy about it to drop those 45 pounds because those 45 pounds are already gone.
Yeah.
Now you're just maintaining it, so you're making a little better choices,
I would say,
but you can have a donut here and there.
A better analogy to the workout one is you've got a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And they got you in shape.
yeah.
Now you just can't cold turkey the gym. Now you've got to actually keep going. But the hard part, in my opinion, is a good personal trainer will teach you how to use all the equipment, how to do a workout plan, how to
get the most out of every
prep.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, training the humans, I would say, is the hardest part. But
that's a whole thing.
That's a whole different
That's a good analogy
topic.
for a board and training.
That is a good.
Yeah.
That's my analogy. Is you do all this time and effort with a personal trainer or a dog trainer. Now you've just got to maintain it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you should also have the skills to keep pushing farther if you want to.
Right.
So what's one of your
Other than recall, I'd say healing is
We were talking about that on the drive-in.
hard. I would say the blanket hardest thing ever would be anything off leash
of
in
course.
general. But for regular obedience, healing would be hard because it's very not fun.
Yeah, well,
It's pretty boring. It looks cool as a human.
yeah.
It's fancy and you're showing off, your dog's right next to you, but for your dog, it's like holding a little
For the
kid's
dog,
hand.
it's not fun because it's not
not fun.
enriching.
Yeah.
I think the reason, when we train dogs, they come out with a fantastic heel, and then we'll see them, later, and I'll see other dogs. I can tell by just watching the dog has been trained, but he's got a really sloppy heel. I never look at that dog and say, wow, they had a crappy trainer. Because I can tell the dog understands it, but the dog's kind of doing what he wants now. Your dog will always, just like us, do whatever they want, whenever they want, as long as they think they can get away with it,
Yeah.
just like a child, right? They're opportunistic by nature. Heel gets really sloppy fast because our dog gets in a heel. We're like, all right, great, heel. My dog understands heel, so I'll just let him walk loose leash. So we don't practice it. And now we're reinforcing with our dog when we go for a walk, it's loose leash. We made this mistake with Lincoln. We got him in a great heel, and then we'd go for a walk. We'd let him off leash because he had great off leash recall, off leash skills. We walked him so much off leash because George was off leash, and we thought, well, let's be fair. Let's let him run up there with George, and we'd practice recalls. His heel got terrible because we didn't practice it much. And here's the issue with that. There's no value in it to us as a human. When I'm just walking my dog, why do I need to heel my dog?
You don't.
I don't. So I let them naturally just walk loose leash and let's go for a stroll. When that's fine. But since I don't need it, now later I need it because I'm going through a crowd and I'm trying to get my dog in a heel and I'm having to hold pressure on the leash to hold my dog into a heel. That's because we never practiced it. That's one I see gets sloppy real fast after training because owners don't practice the heel. You don't need to do it forever. The whole walk, we call it a structured walk. Walk in a heel for a minute, walk loose leash for 2, 3, 4 minutes, put them back in a heel for a minute, loose leash for 2, 3 minutes. Anytime your dog pulls, boom, they come back into a heel for a moment.
And we're not saying like a perfect heads up heel.
Yeah.
Just
Not competition. Yeah.
just general shoulders in line with your foot.
And not pulling.
Not pulling is the biggest
Not
thing.
sniffing and checking everything
Yep.
out, but in tune with you. because that's really what a heel is I'm in this position with you, we're moving together or we're standing together, and I'm focused on you. I'm not focused on sniffing the whole time in a heel.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No competition heel. Heads up heel is meaningless.
It's cool though.
Unless you are in competition,
Yes.
then of course you want a heads up heel, and it does look really cool.
Yeah.
But is it necessary?
No.
It's like healing between the legs. It looks cool.
Yeah.
That's
And I like
trick
having
than anything.
Lincoln do that. That's what makes healing with him funner, because we'll do in between the legs and break up the monotony of the heel, because the heel is kind of a boring position. And that also keeps your dog in tune, because I'm mixing up the heel. Say middle, whatever your commands are, to have them shoot through your legs. Yeah, heel is definitely one that gets sloppy real fast, because from the average dog owner's perspective, they just don't see the value in maintaining
Problem is, it is very valuable, and this might not be a crowd. It could be we're passing another dog with a muzzle on, and it's trying to eat you, and we need to get by this dog without any problems.
And heel is a position of control. You have the most control you're going to have with your dog when they're in a great heel next to you.
Yep. Or you're walking past that Chihuahua on that flexi, and it's 30, I don't know how long flexi is, but it's way out there.
The Chihuahua met you before the owner came around the block. They were so far out on their flexi.
Or the dog's trying to kill you through the fence. Yeah. Crazy. Heel is actually really important.
It is.
It's all about its focus on the owner.
Yeah, and it might not be something bad. It could be, I saw the stray cat across the street. We're going to get into a heel so you can't lunge and take me out.
I've found, so now we've talked about two that tend to get sloppy or hardest to maintain. They're not hard to maintain. It's just people don't see the value in practicing and don't think, hey, let's just practice for a moment or two and make it a game. The one I find that most dogs maintain forever easily, sit.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because we always ask our dog to sit, right? Yeah. They're in the kitchen, we give them a treat, sit, he sat. Yeah. We're just always saying sit to our dogs. So that's why most dogs have a really good sit.
But not really.
But can they hold the sit for longer than a few seconds? Can they hold it for 3 minutes? Can they hold it while you walk into the living room, come back into the kitchen and give it to them?
Sit in the driveway while you get the mail, take the garbage.
Right.
Or will they do it when they're very stimulated?
Yes.
For distractions, not in the house for a piece of chicken.
That comes back to you're going to get the behaviors and the consistency that you practice.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So if you tell your dog to sit in the kitchen and you toss them a treat and then they pop up to get the treat, you have a crappy sit. So they don't get the treat because they popped up. Nope, they get the treat for maintaining the sit, and then just maintain that duration. Now make it more interesting. They got to hold the sit while you walk over to the fridge and get something out, and then you come back and give them a treat. Little by little, that's how incrementally you turn a sit into a 4, 5, 20-minute sit. You said the mailbox. I do that with our dogs. If they go out to the mailbox, they'll walk with me. I tell them to sit, and I just keep on walking, and they sit in the driveway while I go out to the mailbox, grab the mail, and then I walk back to them, say heel, they pop back into a heel, we walk back to the house. Do they need to? No, they can walk out to the mailbox with me, but I'm just practicing different things with them.
Yep. You're thinking, so someone listening to this say, well, you gave them the treat, they should pop up. That's why marker words come in so important. You have the dog sit, you're going to throw that treat to him, then you say yes. So that is a release marker. So you always want to tell your dog when to get out of whatever position they're in, not let them decide.
Right.
So you can throw that treat. You're just making sure you use a release marker so they'll get out of the sit.
So they understand they've been released from the command of sit.
I just want to make that clear when people listen to this. Well, how do they get out of the sit?
Yeah.
You tell them to.
Yeah. And if you don't want them out, then you would use the marker word good. That means I like what you're doing, but continue to do it. That's a good as a marker word for duration. But great point, Laura. We don't want the dogs deciding when to get out of a command.
Yes.
And it's not that you're being unreasonable, but there might be somebody in your front lawn, you put your dog into a sit, and I don't know, for some reason you don't want your dog to jump up out of the sit. Maybe the guy's afraid of dogs. Maybe your dog is too energetic and will jump all over him if he gets out of a sit.
Or it's a kid with a candy.
Yeah, so you want your dog to hold that sit. Well, you can't practice it now. He needs that skill before you put him in that scenario. So That's why marker words are important because he's waiting to be released. If we don't use marker words to release our dog, whether it's free, break, yes, whatever your marker word is for that, your dog is going to decide when long enough is long enough. Yep. And now you have no control over, you have no duration, no consistency. Yeah, marker words, super important.
What's another good command that most dogs know? They know their name.
They know their name.
They know how to look at you when you, hopefully they
that's a good one.
They look at you when they say your name.
So we do this in our living room, just watching TV. The dogs will be laying on their, beds, scattered throughout the living room, and I'll just say George, and pop, his head pop up and look at me. Good. And then he'll lay back down, George, and he'll do it again. We do it with George, Dolly,
Lincoln.
Just practice getting them to focus and say good. And then if they come over to you, great. Give them some pets. You probably don't have snacks. You don't need snacks to train with your dog.
No.
We do not have snacks in our living room. No. It just that'd be weird. Well, maybe not, but we don't.
It depends on what you're working on with your dog.
Yeah, if there's something we're intentionally training, but that's, to me, that's not a training event. That's just an opportunity living with your life,
train as you live.
Train as you live. There we go. Wow, I had a brain cramp. Because I want my dogs to turn around, look at me in the eyes when I say their name. Mm-hmm. Well, if I want them to do that, I got to practice it. So I'm always doing it with
people
dogs.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's an easy thing to do.
Most dogs, you want to go to the park? You want to walk?
So the park ends up being that word.
The P word, and then you're spelling it out.
Or a walk. Yeah. And so then you have to say you want to go for a W to your spouse because you can't say the word walk. We just use our dog's name instead of look at me. Mm-hmm. Their name means look at me.
We practice it going outdoors. I found one of the hardest things is having a multiple dog household is get the newest dog to learn their name. I mean, I've never thought that would be a hard thing, but it is. You actually have to
put effort into it.
Put effort into training the dog their name.
Yeah.
Because they have to know their name.
Because they're operating with your pack.
Yes.
Well, it's hard too because you have to have multiple leashes. You gotta specifically set time aside for Abby. Come while Pickle stays.
Yes.
And then reverse.
Yes.
It takes a minute. It sounds a lot easier than it does.
But it's pretty cool. We have something that's called a flirt pole. It's like a big cat play toy. And when we had 3 of them, I could have each one. They love this thing. This is like, they all want to kill it. But once you get to a big distraction, you could have each of them sit and release one to do something.
While the other 2 sit there and watch them. They're waiting for their turn. They understand it's going to be my turn. I'm waiting for my name to be called to go join the flirt pole chase.
Yeah. Yep. So it is cool. There's a lot of cool things if you put the work into it that your dogs can do just with
and it's fun.
Obedience.
I mean,
it is really fun.
That's why you have a dog.
I would say the hardest part, especially if you do a board and train or training program, the hardest part is making sure the owners keep engaged, keep thinking of new ways to do this. Because the dogs can do it all. It's like with us, we used to do like CGC tests. Everyone's like, oh, my dog should be certified after training. No, your dog can do all that with the trainer.
Right.
Yes.
Now because the CGC testing, you're testing the dog and the handler.
Yes.
And I would say 90, other than reactivity problems, regular dogs we train, 99% of them could pass that test in a heartbeat with the trainer.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All 3 of them.
In fact, we expect them to.
Yeah. Immediately.
I would pretty much say almost 100%. Yeah.
It's really why like a really good solid group class environment after your formal training is so important for humans, because a lot of the stuff we're talking about, like the toys and stuff, like normal people don't even think about that.
Right.
So everyone says, oh, it's common sense. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, a lot of people just don't understand, don't think about how to do things differently to work with their dog to keep it fun for them and fun for your dog.
That's what I was saying about the recall earlier, is people don't know how to slowly build them up. So they'll try out in public and they fail.
And they let them off leash to work on it. You don't ever let your dog off leash until they have a pretty much 100% dependability on leash.
And that's months.
If they can't do it on leash, they're not ready to go off leash for any command.
It's a huge trust factor.
Yeah.
Most people just don't know how to build up correctly And that's why professionals are so important, because most stuff, it is common sense, but you don't know common sense until you know it.
Yeah.
Until you know it. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, at all. You don't even know to ask that question.
Like we tell after training, leave a leash, have a drag leash on your dog for at least 90 days. And a lot of people look at us like in the house. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
And then I also tell people, if you're not ready to get off that couch and make sure that dog does, if you say sit, and if that dog doesn't sit, you're not ready to get off the couch, don't give your dog a command.
Right.
So you have to be willing to be consistent and clear to your dog and not.
That's, I guess, the last one we'll chat about. The things that people struggle with. So these aren't obedient, excuse me, aren't obedience commands. They're more behavioral. So like you said, Laura, if you ask your dog to do something and they don't do it, whether it's stop barking, get away from the window, just go lay down, whatever. If they won't do it, are you going to go over to them and work with them to have them do it? If not, don't ask them to do it.
Yeah.
Because they will start making associations. Oh, and my family's in their pajamas and the lights in the house are off and the TV's on.
I can do whatever I want.
I can get away with anything at this time of the day, and they will.
Yeah.
Because they've made that association that you will not enforce anything or a certain command, like get out of that garbage can. For example, then they know I could eat out of the garbage can at night because nobody will come make me stop doing it. Now, during the day, they won't do it because they know you'll enforce it. So don't ever give your dog a command or ask him to do something or tell him to stop doing something if you will not enforce it. That's probably the biggest area that I see behaviorally.
Especially if you've got this strong-willed, high-drive working dog, you have to win. Like I got a husky pit, you guys got a Malinois. Like the boxer pit, Abby, you don't have to be a Nazi about it.
Yeah.
But my husky pit, we got so much more structure just because of his personality is so much different.
Yeah.
And a lot of these high drives, like why Malinois love being military dogs, is they like so much structure and work.
Yeah.
A pit bull, no. Most 9 times out of 10, they're way more laid back.
Yeah, you just tell them to go lay down and
they'll be happy.
Yeah.
I think the more structure we layer for our dog, the easier we make it for our dog to live with us.
100%.
Because now I don't have to manage because I've literally gave him an operating system of how to operate in our home.
Yeah.
And
this is not
he knows what to refer to.
Yeah. If you just give your dog 90 days, even if it's 108 days, that's what, half a year? Not even half a year. You will have an awesome, after that, great dog. If you don't want to put the work into it, you're going to have years of banging your head against
the wall.
But like Wyatt said, though, high drive. So Lincoln is our Mal, and he will take every toy out of every dog in our house and take their toys, put on his bed, and not let
He'll
him have
just go up to him,
so basically,
pull the toy out of their mouth, and go lay on his bed.
Couch and take that away from him, and then
we do not allow that behavior. So we will take it away and give it back to the dog.
Yeah, because it will be. That's how we source our guarding starts. And it won't happen. And then he knows that he can't do it after that. He tries. He always tries. He's always going to.
He did it last night to Dolly.
So,
and Laura got up off the couch and went over to his bed, took the bone away, and gave it back to Dolly. Yeah. And then Lincoln went, yeah, okay.
Because the other 2 dogs know that they can't take him. They can't take it away from him because.
I did that with Pickles too.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I had when I rescued that monster, and taking him to work, and we're gonna find dogs that are bigger than him, that are older, that will put him in his place, and I specifically let him interact with those dogs.
Yeah.
To learn
to really learn manners.
Interactions.
With stable dogs, not just
stable dogs. I picked and choose, but Pickles is so overconfident and dominant that he really needed to learn you are not the biggest, baddest dog on the planet. You're not going to have short man syndrome.
Yeah. Right. And we're not going to fight.
Yeah. We're just.
So that's another thing. You should know your dog breed.
Yeah.
Yes. Know your breed.
And then know your personality. Like Lincoln, we just know he'll go up to George or Dolly and take a ball out of their mouth because he's a butthole.
And the other 2
he just is. And our other 2 dogs are like, whatever. Yeah,
it's weird.
It does not cause fights.
No,
but
Pickles will do that.
We take it away because it's wrong. You don't do that.
Yeah, and it's not nice.
And we give it back to the dog that.
Which is weird about that is, so we have our 3 dogs. Our daughter has 2 dogs, the little dogs. The big dogs will let these little dogs eat all their food. So it's just weird. Dogs are weird.
Weird dynamics.
So we actually take the little dogs out for the, because my dogs would just let
dominance has nothing to do with size or breed.
Nope.
It's commitment.
Yeah.
Those little dogs, they're committed to win.
Well, we've never let our dogs have the resources. Ever.
100%.
Right. Never. You address that right up front, and then you maintain it forever. There's another one that doesn't creep up because every time we feed our dogs, we pet them. I mean, not the whole time they're eating, but I pat them on the back, I pat them on the head, and I stroke their cheek, and then I go about my day. I let them eat. I don't pester them while they're eating, but I touch them every time they eat because they don't resource guard.
Yeah.
They know I'm not going to take their. It's just not an issue.
Yeah. Well, because realistically, eventually someone is.
And we have grandkids now, so that
yes, I had to do that with my street dog, and I try and don't let the 2-year-old get out of his food bowl, but every once in a while, that 2-year-old's crafty.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you picked up a couple tips to get your dog back in line, get yourself back in line. If you're struggling with a couple commands, you might realize why you're struggling with them or behaviors. Maybe it's not even a command issue. And next week, we'll be talking about why your dog is banned. So we're going to really be talking about a lot of different breeds, banned breeds, and misconceptions about banned breeds. And the fallacy of that, but we'll look at it from a different perspective than most people probably think about. If our discussion today connected with you, I would invite you to reach out to us. Give us a call, or you can reach out to us on our website through the Contact Us page, k-9culture.com. Click on Contact Us. If you are in the DFW, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana area and need help with your dog, we would love to be part of you and your dog's training journey. So give us a call and we'll discuss what your issues are, challenges, and what your goals are, and put the plan together. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. K9 Culture Dog Training DFW is the handle for both of those, and you'll get some dog training tips and a bunch of cute pictures every day too. And again, if you're needing help with your dog, we'd love to be part of the dog training process for you. So reach out to us next week. My dog is banned breeds and the misconceptions, excuse me, about these breeds. And we'll break that down for you. Until then, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully this conversation we had today is helpful. And from all of us, go have fun with your dog.